So in the Witcher trilogy, we've obviously been able to explore a lot of regions in the continent, in the world of The Witcher, and now while we didn't get a lot of news or details regarding a new Witcher 4 game in the last couple of months, I decided that in the next couple of videos I'll create my own perfect Witcher 4 game. So we'll be talking about the open worlds, when the game should take place, which characters it should involve, and just building the perfect Witcher 4 game. And obviously one of the most important aspects of a game like that would be the open world. So in today's video we're going to talk about how I would imagine a perfect open world for The Witcher 4. So when we ask a question where the next Witcher game should take place, I mean there are almost endless options to pick from, because obviously the lore and the world of The Witcher is so diverse and so big, so it's pretty much up to CD Projekt Red which world, which region they're going to take. However, there are some cities, some countries in the world of The Witcher that in my opinion would make a lot more sense, but before we dive into those specific ones, I will talk about some more general stuff. Because one of my first thoughts when creating this video was, okay, maybe we should see some of the open worlds that we're already familiar with in the next Witcher game. And my first thought here was to get Vizima and the open world from The Witcher 1 into this new gen and new tech. But obviously now we're getting a remake of The Witcher 1, so it would be kind of unnecessary and obviously not very smart from the developers to remake the world from The Witcher 1 and then create a new Witcher game with the same world. So obviously the first Witcher game is already getting its remake. The second Witcher game, in my opinion the least exciting open world, is not really something that I would have to see again in an upcoming Witcher game. And obviously The Witcher 3 doesn't really need any remakes at all. It's pretty much a perfect game and still looks stunning to this day. What I would love to see though is, for example, to, let's say, see Novigrad post-war, or let's see at war, you know, stuff like that. Stuff like we had in The Witcher 1 where, you know, you go through Vizima, you know, everything is beautiful and nice, and then in the 5th chapter, Vizima is under attack and it looks completely different than from the first couple of chapters. So you know that we see familiar places, but obviously in a different era and in a different place politically. But now let's dive into the specific locations that we should get in an upcoming Witcher game, and the first one here is Zerrikania. And Zerrikania is also called the Land of the Dragon Cold. It's located in the far east of the continent, bordering a very vast desert, and the country is very hot and humid with jungles and savannas. And they have a completely different culture there. You know, the books describe it a little bit, that there is a matriarchal society with fierce female warriors that worship dragons and possess unique fighting styles. And obviously, in an area like that, there are a lot of potential storylines that we could encounter. For example, encountering a hidden Witcher school that's known for taming and utilizing beasts in combat. And if you've seen the Witcher series, which I wouldn't really recommend if you haven't seen it, but if you have, in the first season there is an episode where they hunt dragons. And in the world of The Witcher there are a lot of dragon hunters, so another potential storyline could be to uncover a political struggle between those who want to protect dragons and those who seek to exploit them and make money off of them. And another incredible add-on that Zerrikania would feature would be the unique monsters that it has. I mean, imagine running through a desert while giant desert worms, you know, kind of like in Dune, are hunting you, or you see monstrous sandcats, reptilian humanoids, and perhaps even new species. I mean, Zerrikania is definitely something that we didn't really see in the Witcher games yet, so it would be definitely a great choice. And now the second location that I would love to see is Ofir. And now Ofir is known as the land of spice and intrigue. It is an island nation southeast of the continent, known for its exotic spices and trade routes. And in the Witcher games we already encountered some people from Ofir, and what they were talking about and how they described their country was something very, very special. You know, it's a highly developed society with a complex political landscape and a focus on scholarship and trades. And in Ofir the potential storylines that we would have are very different from Zerrikania, because here intrigue, betrayal would play a much larger role. You know, for example, we could get embroiled in a political conspiracy that involves powerful merchant houses and stolen artifacts. You know, and while I think that in Zerrikania the biggest threat would be the monsters that we encounter, in Ofir it would be the very big amount of betrayal and intrigue from the people. So those two locations are known for their very exotic nature. And now I'll continue with some locations that are even more known and more described from the Witcher books and from the games, and the first one being Mahakam. And Mahakam is definitely one of the most requested new locations that we should get in the next Witcher game from the fans, because we've heard so much about the land of the dwarves, and obviously we meet a lot of dwarves. Our best friend Zoltan is from Mahakam, and there are plenty of reasons to visit that location in a Witcher game. There are several things that could draw a Witcher to Mahakam. For example, monstrous creatures are plaguing the mines, and so the Witcher that we play gets a contract so that we travel to the country of the dwarves. Or maybe we have a dwarf friend that takes us there, because it's described very often that the political climate of Mahakam is very often on the edge of war, which could obviously offer opportunities for complex quests with lasting consequences in the game. And visiting Mahakam's environment and the dwarven culture could provide a very welcome contrast to the world that we are used to from the Witcher games. Just think about it, exploring vast underground mines that are filled with danger, or visiting huge dwarven cities that are carved into mountainsides. That would definitely be a sight to see. And the next location that I would love to see in an upcoming Witcher game is Brokilon, the home of the Dryads. And obviously we've seen Brokilon in the Witcher series, but well, there isn't really much to see, let's be honest, but it's described very detailed in the Witcher books. And it's kind of comparable to Lothlorien from the Lord of the Rings, which is definitely a heavenly place. And also in the Witcher games, all of the Dryads that describe Brokilon really made me extremely excited to visit the big forest myself. And another great add-on is that in Brokilon there are, well, only female Dryads, and for them to get pregnant they need an outside male friend, let's say.
In men to procreate, and just the strong and agile. We want the girls born of their seed to inherit their father's fortitude.
I've been accused of many things, but lack of physical prowess is not among them.
You have proved yourself a skilled hunter.
So here we could obviously also have some potential storylines that would be very nice to see, let's say the least. Obviously Witchers are not able to have children, but that doesn't mean that the Dryads are in need of a male companion sometimes. Another last location that I want to talk about in today's video is Kovir. And now Kovir is known for its technological innovation and also for its political intrigue. And there are several reasons for a visit. First off, as I said, the nation is extremely technologically advanced. It's said that it's the most advanced nation in the whole continent. And that could offer a very unique opportunity for the player. We might be hired to investigate strange occurrences tied to the new inventions and just get to know all of the new inventions that they have in Kovir. And imagine facing monstrous creations that were powered by magic and technology, or encountering a faction developing gadgets specifically to combat monsters. The country's political intrigue could also play a very big role, with the main character being caught between warring factions. And the world of Kovir would be also something that we didn't really see like that in the Witcher game before, the cities of Kovir would be filled with clockwork contraptions, alchemical laboratories, and a bustling atmosphere driven by inventions. And also in a game where Kovir is featured, it would be almost certain that we would get to know the political landscape and that we would encounter some political intrigue or betrayal. So those are the specific locations that I would love to see in an upcoming Witcher game. Obviously there are some points that would be extremely important in a game like that, for example the seamless exploration, so that the developers utilize next-gen tech to make transitions between land and sea and the different countries that we would visit seamless. And as I said in the beginning, a return to familiar haunts would also be a good idea, where the game would include some few key locations from past games, but as I said, with a small twist. This would also allow for some nostalgia while keeping things fresh. And exploring those locations that I listed in the video would definitely give The Witcher 4 a fresh perspective on the continent while still staying true to the series' established lore. And each location that I talked about presents opportunities for the main character to use his Witcher skills in new ways, to encounter unique characters and explore different and unique political storylines. And as I said, this is only the first video of my Witcher 4, well, series, let's say, because I'll be making a lot more in the upcoming weeks, just creating the perfect Witcher game as a hardcore Witcher fan. But again, I'm very, very interested in some locations that you would like to see. Is it something that I listed on today's list? Or maybe it's something completely different, like, let's say, Wengerberg or Sodden, you know, locations that we didn't really see in the games to this day. So tell me about your opinions down in the comments. Alright guys, that was it for me in today's video. I wish you all an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.